raising finances. Oh, there. So continue. There we are. And building these sorts of organizations from the ground up. I feel like I've got a fairly good handle, and I believe that I can lend some expertise, and hopefully I can answer some of your questions and help you guys get where you want to be, whatever size company that is.
So we all heard Mr. Morgan. He has a whole lot of experiences, so it's not small. You guys are getting very powerful stuff here. So please, if you have any question, any business you want to embark on, any business you're trying to grow, please, you can always ask. That's why he's your mentor. It's going to be lasting for 3 months, and if he decides to then extend it, then we are lucky. But it's going to be lasting for 3 months, and then it's going to be easier. So if you have any questions on any business or any projects you're embarking on, you get to ask. So Mr. Morgan is going to actually be speaking for a while, and then it's a mentoring class for entrepreneurs and business owners, and for young business owners, not big people, young people. So we believe the young people is the next generation of Africa and the world at large. So Mr. Morgan, I'm going to leave the floor to you, and then we can start with the mentoring class. Okay.
Yeah, I think that what will work best is kind of an open conversation. Maybe we can work our way through some of the others on the call and answer some of their questions. I'm sure most young entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, there's usually lots of questions around how to do certain things and how do we get past these hurdles that we've encountered. And I'd be happy to share some of my experiences and how and how I overcame a couple problems that maybe you guys are facing. So feel free to ask some questions.
Okay, so guys, did you hear him? So I think let me start this so that it's going to be easier for everyone to be. So please, you need to be free. That's why it's a closed mentoring class. And I believe if we maximize it well, we will yield a great result. And then, I believe this will actually empower the people. So, Mr. Morgan, the first question I would like to actually ask is, I believe a lot of people are asking, wow, that you're doing a whole lot of projects, like great projects. How did it begin with you? How were you able to actually get this far in your journey of entrepreneurship, at the same time being able to actually establish so much project like you have on the ground?
Sure, I can speak to that. Well, I think initially for me, I found that I had a real passion for construction and development. It was something that I really enjoyed, and it's in my family as well. Both my dad and my grandpa were both involved in construction and development, and so it was very a very comfortable place for me to go to. And so that I think that's where it really starts is finding something that you're passionate about and finding something that you like doing, and then building on that and growing your skills as the years progress, learning more about it and just building on that, from initially just enjoying doing something. I tell people, and this was always funny when I used to work for different organizations, I would always say, I love construction so much, I do it for free. And then they would usually laugh. And then they would say, well, okay, you're hired. So, yeah, that sounds like a really good deal for them. The guy loves construction so much, he's willing to do it for free. So, that's where it really starts, is finding what something that you think you want to do, and then continue to explore it, and then build on it. And then you learn from the failures along the way and the things that don't go right, and you just continue to build on it. So I hope that kind of answers your initial question.
Yep. So okay, so since so I believe in Africa, we have, so I think we cannot ask questions now. In case you have any question, any project you're embarking on, or you're struggling with something or something like that. So Mr. Morgan is here and he's going to answer every question you have and then anything you need to actually understand. So please, you can start asking, please. So engage Mr. Morgan. He's your mentor, so you need to ask questions.
Sure. Ask, anything that you're dealing with at this moment. Are you just starting out? Are you, are you, do you have a business that's already, built? Are you just incorporating a business, or are you coming up with an idea? Really, whatever stage you're at, I'd be happy to lend some advice or some thoughts on how you can grow or overcome any sort of issues you're dealing with.
Okay, so we heard Mr. Morgan, so he's in for us a lot, in for us. Are we good?
Hello, Mr. Morgan.
Hi, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm very fine. Yeah, so I'm Anu. Yeah. So I'm in school right now. So I'm like trying to find a way to like balance my schoolwork and my gaining skill. You get, like, I don't know, like, is there a way to like balance both of them?
That's a great question, and I appreciate you bringing it up. I actually I started my first small business, sole proprietorship, when I was 15 years old, and I was in school as well at that time. And I had to be really resourceful. Obviously, I needed to focus on my school work during the day, and then I worked on my homework in the evening, and then after all of that, I would dedicate some time to my business, and same with weekends as well, and any days off that I might have, I dedicated to my business. So that particular one, when I started out, I was actually just trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do, especially back in school. And so I was selling placemat advertising, which might sound kind of funny, at this point. But I went and I spoke with a local restaurant, and I said, "Do you guys need placemats?" And they said, "Yeah, we usually buy them." And I said, "Well, what if I gave them to you for free with your logo on them?" And they said, "Well, we like that idea." And then I went to other businesses and I sold little ads around the edges of the placemat to pay for them and make a little bit of money. So in the end, the restaurant got free placemats that were customized with their logo in the middle, and all of the other businesses paid for ads around the outside of the placemats and paid for the placemats that went in there, and made a little, I made a little small profit on it. And that was kind of my first foray into entrepreneurship and running your own business and things like that. And I had to do that in between my schoolwork, in between going to school, and once again, I took the bus, to go and visit these different businesses. And I used my parents' phone line to make the phone calls, to try and set up meetings and things like this. So yeah, it's definitely doable as a student to, start your own business, try your own business, and still achieve your, goals at school as well. I hope that answers the question.
It's answered
it. Is there anything else that you're working on, or that you're hoping to do in terms of starting or having your own business while you go to school?
Yes, so I'm trying to gather skills. I want to set up like a creative agency, like where we do web design and branding.
Well, that's wonderful, because that's definitely something that you can do do it really anytime, as long as you have access to a laptop. Then you've got the ability to do web design and any of that stuff after school, or in the evenings, or in the morning before you go to school. So that's a great business for being able to be very flexible. And there's also, I'm sure you're aware, there's a number of different websites out there that you can also freelance your skills internationally, such as like 99 Designs. They have well, there are other ones as well, but they also hire independent designers to create designs, and you basically enter kind of a contest to have the best design and win the win the product sale. So you have tons of options. That's a wonderful business.
Yeah, thank you.
Is anybody else have any other questions that I might be able to answer?
Yeah, I think we have a question here actually. I think she said she had issue with her phone. She said her battery is actually very low.
Yes.
Oh, that's too bad.
Okay.
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
Sure.
Hello.
Okay.
I have a
Yes.
question. Can I go ahead, please?
Sure, you can.
Okay. In the aspect of one who has a business already, and the business has been moving on, then suddenly there's now more competitors that want to go below the, how would I call it, below the value of the business, in which it affects my own business. For example, my business is event planning and decoration. For example, if someone comes to the office and says, this is what I want, and we have negotiated for a price, and few days to the event, the person comes up and say, I got another event planner who is also doing everything I asked of, and going to go lower than lower than what I actually charged the person. How do you handle such competitors? Because they are now more, and they tend to make us, even if we have high quality, people go for high quality and less money. So how do I tend to handle this in my business?
Yeah. So
Hello?
if I heard that correctly,
Yes,
you
sir.
have an event planning business, and
Yes,
your question is whether or not you can compete with people who are
yes.
basically offering a lower cost for their
Yes.
product, and
sir.
trying to basically bring down the margins that you would make, and you're trying
sir.
to get a reasonable amount for your services, and
Yes,
compete
sir.
with them, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's actually a really good a really good topic to chat about, because we all encounter that, and we all face that in every business that we're in. We're competing against people who will really look to be the lowest price, and we can't always compete with that. Some people will essentially do the jobs for not much more than the cost of the job, and that doesn't really make sense for a real business person to do something just for cost. You need to make a little bit of a profit. So the best way to combat that, in my experience, is to basically network. It sounds funny, but really increase your network and increase your personableness with these clients. Most of my contracts and most of my stuff I built, or I have secured through my personal network, and basically these people, they know me, or they've had a referral, and essentially that's why they want to work with me. They go, we know Morgan, we like him, he's personable, we know he's going to do a good job. people buy from people they trust. People buy from people they like. And so that's the first thing. You know, if you can build a rapport with your potential client, you know, and they like you, they're more likely to buy from you, even if your price is a little bit more. And so that's what's worked for me. I've secured a lot of different contracts all over the world simply because I had a better rapport with the client than anyone else. So I hope that kind of helps a little bit. If you can build up that rapport with your client, that's going to really help you, and you won't have to fight as much on the money end of things.
Okay, so I think there should be an official introduction of everyone here, so that Mr. Morgan knows your name, so he calls you by name instead of having to actually look at your. Yeah, I think so. We need to start an official introduction. So the first is, okay, let me introduce myself. So I'm Miracle, and I'm the convener and the host for the mentoring class. It's a great privilege to be here. Next person, Anu.
Yeah, I'm Anoluwapo Adebayo. So I'm grateful to be here, Sha. Like, this is a real opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Morgan and Miracle.
Thank you. Nice to meet you as well.
Techno.
I don't know what's your name, so your name is showing Techno.
Sorry, I didn't edit that. This is Deborah Mori, Christiana, actually, and it's a pleasure for me to be here. Hello, did you get that?
Sorry, it broke up a little bit. Could you repeat your name for me, please?
Okay, this is Deborah Mori.
Okay, thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Christiana. Okay, Christiana is like
everyone. Good evening, Mr. Morgan.
Hello.
Yes, sir. I'm Christiana Morike. I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for answering some questions in which I really needed to ask, but some other people asked the question and you did answer the question. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there's a question here which the lady asked. I think she just stepped up because she's, you know, we're in Nigeria and then we have issues with lights, and that's why we're actually raising young leaders to actually take and address challenges like this. Okay, so she said, my question is this, please, how much can you say about starting a social enterprise alone?
Sorry, about the question is, what can I say about starting a social enterprise?
Exactly, yes. Yeah.
And would there be is there a specific focus? Obviously, social enterprises are rather, you know, it covers quite a large number of businesses. Is there anything specific that you'd be looking for?
Okay, she didn't actually add anything specific, but but she just said something about like how much can you say about starting a social enterprise alone? So I assume that she has like an NGO or like someone like an NGO, exactly.
Sure. I can kind of touch on that in a broad sense. When you're looking at starting any enterprise, not just a social enterprise, the biggest thing is to have a cause or a calling, and focus on that rather than on the business. I say a specific business itself. Any of these enterprises, even my own, you need to have a real purpose. Like, for example, ours is basically helping to build a better world faster, and we do that through affordable housing and through jobs and job skills training and mentorship programs and things like that. And, our calling on that social, environmental end of things is really what drives us forward. So if your desire is to, provide affordable health care to everybody in Nigeria, for example, well now you've really got a cause to get behind, and then you focus everything on that, achieving that goal. Obviously, as I said, we're talking in a very broad sense, so I'm kind of answering in a very broad way as well. But if you had if there was a specific something specific in terms of a cause or a business around that social drive, I'd be happy to speak more specifically on it as well.
Okay, so I think since today is the start of the mentoring class, so maybe today will just be for, because I believe some of them actually, okay, Mr. Morgan, I would like to ask, would you be okay with, so that it could be easy for them to easily access you, would you be okay with them adding you to their group? So like they have a WhatsApp group. Are you okay with them adding you to the WhatsApp?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start a WhatsApp group. I'd be happy to have that, and maybe, and then that way we can share some questions and I can answer some of the questions that come along as well. Yeah, definitely add me to a WhatsApp group and let's have kind of a more open conversation. I think it's relevant to mention, I will definitely do my best to respond to everybody's messages as soon as I can. But feel free to ask questions throughout the weeks or whatever it might be. My goal here in doing this and in having these conversations and connecting with everyone is to help provide some insight, provide some information, some guidance. If you have a next step that you're wondering about, ask me. Yeah, I'd love to be able to, be a part of your success, and see young entrepreneurs succeed in any way. Really, it's quite the journey, being an entrepreneur and starting your own business. I don't know any other way to put it. It's a journey, and it's not easy. It's tough. You're going to encounter a lot of things that don't work, and you're going to encounter more things that don't work than things that do work, and you have to just keep going. And if you can find somebody to bounce ideas off of or ask questions to, like myself, it will help. It helps a lot to be able to find your way through. Like, even if you have some specific questions, I'd be happy to answer those as well. Yeah, whatever it might be. I'm here to help.
Wow. So we have Mr. Morgan, and he's willing to join a WhatsApp group. That's a very great privilege, a very, very great privilege. So I think we might have to cut it here. So since it's okay with adding him to a WhatsApp group, so you could easily access him. So the question I actually want to ask is this. So this is like a project that I'm actually embarking on. So I would like to as well share it here. So there's an organization I'm willing to actually embarking on, a project I'm trying to create. And what we do in the organization is two major things. One is to actually help source for individuals with set skills that organization needs to actually develop their company and make the company grow in whatever services they're offering. And the other is actually to actually coach and help staffs and employees in the company to actually increase their level of performance and increase their mental capacity to perform well in the company. Now, I am just starting, and then I do not, I'll probably say it's an idea, but then I don't know how to actually go about it. But I know I've been able to have some clients that are able to actually help connect individuals with the set skills which she requested for. So in a scenario like that, how do I scale up, and how do I actually face fears in setting up an organization that I have no idea about, and I'm just going into it?
Okay, so I want to make sure I understand the idea in the business correctly. Essentially, you're looking to train individuals in an existing corporation and be able to bill for that. So if there was I'm just going to throw an example out there. If there was a company that had new hires or new employees, and they didn't know how to use a specific computer program, for example, they would call you, and then you would offer the training that's required for those employees in order to get them up to speed. Is that
Exactly.
so? Exactly. Okay, great. So my first thought would be, is there a specific type of training that you're looking to offer? So that would be my first question, even as a business owner. If you approached me and you said, hey, I offer training for new employees or for existing employees to increase their skill level, I guess my initial conversation with you would be, what areas do you focus on? Because I know at this time, if I need to train my employees how to run a forklift, there's a guy who we can call to train an employee to how to run a forklift. If there is if it's about safety, then there are trainers who strictly focus on safety and employee and company safety protocols, and they'll build safety manuals for the companies and train employees. Same with whether it be HR related tasks. There's companies that do that as well. And so, or IT, whatever it might be. So my initial thought would be, is there an area that you are hoping to specialize in, or are you looking to offer a very broad range of services and then bring in, subcontractors to help you out?
Exactly. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is we're like a connector between people, organizations, and companies with the potential client. So
okay.
So what it's looking like, okay, so I like some contract client. So what I'm doing is this, be in the middle. So you need someone who let's put it this way, someone who has social media skills, or someone who has communication skills, someone who has administrative skills. So what I do is this: you contact me, and then I get them closer to you, and then I do a background check about the quality of the services, the quality of their skills, and then I bring them to you and present them to you. Okay, this is actually a qualified individual with this set skills that you need.
Okay. There's two different things here that I'm just trying to sort out here. The one is to do with more of training existing employees or new employees, whereas the other one sounds a little bit more like recruiting. Because you can act as a recruiter, and you can actually bring in the employees for them and then charge a fee for those. So just because I don't want to get on the wrong track here, maybe I already am. Are you speaking about more of being a recruiter
Exactly.
and then lining up?
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
Rather than training existing employees.
Exactly.
Okay. Sorry, I misunderstood. So you're hoping to basically become a recruiter, find the staff that they need, and then basically charge a fee to them for finding those staff.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
So, okay. Well, that's big business in terms of globally. There are large recruitment firms. They make lots of money. It's definitely a good business to be in. And I would say that it's pretty easy to get into recruitment. There's actually a lot of individuals and smaller firms that do recruitment. It's really as here would be my take. If I were to get into recruitment, here's what I would do. I would probably post some ads. I'd come up with a name, Miracle Recruiting or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So, call it Miracle Recruiting. And then I would post job ads for a number of different jobs that I've already seen posted. So if I look in the job section, and there's employers looking for IT manager, if there's employers looking for general laborers, or I wouldn't use those because they're lower. I wouldn't use the general labor end, but that was a bad example. Let's say IT manager, CFO, CEO, whatever it might be. I would look at all of those. I would write down every one of those job titles, and then I would post my own ad that says Miracle Recruiting looking for CTO, looking for CEO of brick building company, or whatever it might be. I would post an ad for every single one of those ones that I found. I would do it 100 times or hundreds of times, and then people would be sending me their resumes for that job. And then I would take that resume, I would take their name off of the top of it, and basically then I would contact the company that's advertising wanting that person. I would contact them and say, I have a person who does this. Do you want to meet them? And I would show them the resume without any of the contact info, of course, or I'd put my own on there so that they couldn't just contact them directly. I would give that to them and basically be like, do you like this person? And if they said yes, they want to interview them, then get them to sign, both of them, the company and that person, get them both to sign an agreement with you that you are receiving, this fee if they decide to hire them, and they can't bypass you, right? They have to work through you. And if they hire them, then you get the fee paid by the company. And that's that. You just started the business right there. And all you did was post a bunch of ads online for jobs that people are already looking for people in, and you're just going to them directly. And rather than the person sending their resume to them, they send it to you and you send it to the other guy. So that's how I would do that.
Wow.
It's like there's no cost. I shouldn't say there's no cost. There's almost no cost to doing that. You can literally start a business tonight doing that. And you could start posting ads tonight as a recruiter. And all of a sudden you're going to have, 300 resumes in your inbox for every type of person. And then what you can do is you can also send an email or call all of these companies directly and say, hey, do you need this person? And let's say, you start running out of people to send the resumes to. Then you start calling companies and you go, do you need an IT guy? Because I have 10 of them here. Do you need a construction foreman? I got 12 of them here. Are you interested? Right? And you start reaching out to them. So you're not just relying on that stuff online, but you've just built this network of people looking for jobs, and all you have to do is just find the guy who wants them.
Wow, that's powerful. Wow, thank you so much for that. Wow, thank you so much. So you see why this is very beautiful. You get to ask questions to Mr. Morgan, then he gets to answer you easily. Like, this is so nice. So Mr. Morgan has actually accepted to join. I know you just joined, so Mr. Morgan has actually accepted to join the WhatsApp group. So it's going to be very easy for you to actually access him. So this is what I'm going to say. Now, he's giving an access. I would want us to really manage it and maximize it. And it's going to be lasting for 3 months. So the good part is the fact that you get to actually know him. So that's why I didn't want this to be too much. So you get to know him one-on-one. So please maximize this opportunity. And then, so I'm going to add him to the group. So we're going to be ending this now. And if you have any question, it's going to be on the group and you could easily get across to him. So we won't take too much of his time now. So this is accepted to join the group. So please, let's say a big thank you to him before we end this. Let's say a big thank you to him.
Thank you. I
Thanks
appreciate
so much, Mr. Morgan.
Thanks.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate meeting everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Morgan.
Thanks. I'm hoping that over our next few months here, I can really answer some questions and help you guys steer your business or your business ideas, so you guys can see some success here. So
Okay, thank you so much. So let's say,
Okay.
we said thank you already. So we're going to actually allow him go now. Mr. Morgan, thanks very much for joining this section. We're very, very grateful, very, very grateful. And we'll be having a section with Mr. Morgan live on Instagram, and he will be speaking on a very nice topic. So I'm not going to say that yet, so you can just join Instagram. So okay, so we're going to be leaving now. Thanks everyone for joining, and thanks to Christina. She's actually like my, all I put it, should I say the admin? She controls and manages everything. And thank you so much, Christina, for your services. Thank you so much. Okay.
wonderful. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful for this. Thank you so much. And